Ready when you are, sir. Welcome to day 2 of Session B of the Global Basketball Summer League. Sam Cooperman and Andy Stanko bringing you the call. It's Scouting4u, MR Sports. Scouting4u, coached by Gil Kisliak of Israel. The team that is in white right now, team in blue, is MR Sports. Steal right there. And here we go, off to the races. Driving hard and getting it popped out is Shane Carter. So going the other way for MR Sports. 3 ball off the iron for Bryce Presley. And here we go up floor. Matthew Thomas running the floor. Thomas of Salem International University. 3 for 13 in yesterday's loss to Las Vegas, so struggle for him.
But Matt Thomas, 7 for 9 from the free throw line. He's been aggressive out of that point guard spot.
Hard take will fall. Shane Carter of Peekskill, New York, getting his team Scouting4u on the board. Again, for MR Sports, it's going to be Nino Sanfilippo from the Italian second division on the bench. Bennerman, the 32-year-old former NC State player. This is for Robinson. Robinson setting the screen. Robinson wasn't sure if he was going to play today. He is on the floor. So a driving kick right there. Poppin' is Presley from downtown. Book it. Bryce Presley right back at you.
And that was all set up by the drive along the baseline. I believe it was Jordan Green. And then that far wing is usually open, and nice shot from Presley.
So 1.5 minutes into this, it's 3-2 in favor of MR Sports. So a few nifty dribbles by Thomas, stopping his dribble, teed up nicely by Matola. So Sabor Yame, far away from the hoop. Around the curl is McClurkin, off front iron, rebound is followed by Pina Guillarme for the bucket.
Nope, shot clock violation. It missed the rim completely, so Pina in good position to support Pina getting in position to make the rebound, but no reset of the 24, and it pays to hit the rim. Sometimes it does.
Little aspects of the Doolittle Community Center. We have a shot clock in the far corner of the court. Players can't see it. Heck, I couldn't even see it, resulting in my hiccup there as Matola is bumped to the floor, gets fouled. It's going to be Shane Carter picking up the personal. Again, you can't foul out in the Global Basketball Summer League. Same with the NBA Summer League. So they're keeping the rules pretty consistent with that. As Presley hounded on the inbounds, gets it as he backs down Shane Carter outside. He's doubled, kicks back out to Robinson. Robinson straight away 3, no good. Hard rebound by Guillarme. So it's going to be Thomas, the floor general here. Bounce for Guillarme. 20-footer, that's all. Gets 3-2 still in favor of MR Sports, the team in blue. No Tyler Harris for MR Sports today. Brother of Tobias Harris had a monster game as 3 ball by Jordan Green, another player with some NBA connection. His father, Sean Green, played in the NBA years ago. Played Niagara Community College, Chadron State with Jordan at New Rochelle, New York. Guillarme, low block, baby hook. So pushing up the floor here, Cameron Bennerman, all 32 years old, and gets the floater to fall.
And Bennerman's a veteran of Italy, Spain, Turkey, NC State, now up in Canada. And with these pros, you can usually tell just by how they carry themselves and their IQ on the floor.
McClurkin on the outside, rattles home the long 2. Jamal McClurkin showing the range.
I like how he continued to shoot the outside shot after missing badly on his first attempt. Stay with that confidence and show guys what you can do.
So 3 minutes into this one, 8-4 in favor of MR Sports. Again, the team in blue, coached by Nino Sanfilippo, looking for a few guys to bring back to Italy. Gil Kisliak for the white team Scouting4u. 3 is off. Matola controls the board. Ball working around the perimeter. Green's going to slow up, but they're going to take Obacha mano a mano. Green a few crosses.
After the rebound.
Kisliak with a comment on the shot clock. It's supposed to be reset. Matola turnover on his part as the entry pass found nobody in particular. So 6:17 on this first quarter clock. Again, 8-4 in favor of MR Sports. So orchestrating the offense here will be Matthew Thomas on the right wing. Down low, Obacha. 10-footer miss.
8 light rebounds and
Jabari Robinson picks up the board. Matola flips for Green. Green, kick out. Presley, hesitation move. And they're going to floor.
Three.
Reach.
As well as 3 seconds, defensive 3 seconds.
3 seconds, my mistake on that. Good pick up there, Andy. So to shoot the shot here, it's going to be Bryce Presley.
No, and it's interesting to see MR Sports scoring and how they're going to approach things offensively today as opposed to yesterday, because Tyler Harris was such a focal point. 23 points, 10 for 23 in terms of shooting, 0 for 6 from 3. He was really someone who handled the ball a lot when it came time to score, so we'll see how they're able to move the ball and get everyone involved.
Tola triggers in, and you mentioned Tyler Harris, 15 boards to go along with that. Presley stops the dribble outside. Good movement on the outside, now the ball stops with Green. Green dishes for Matola. Matola trying to get around Thomas. Back out, Presley, long 3, off back iron. Ball pops out, coming away with it out of the pack is McClurkin. McClurkin will push, trying to go coast to coast, can't finish. Follow-up attempt is also off. And Matola dives to the floor, but he's out of bounds.
Good hustle play, and Frank Snow almost a big-time putback there for Scouting4u. And Scouting4u, that's a big addition in terms of his size and experience, someone who's played overseas in Germany. And we'll see how much of an impact he can have this afternoon.
So first timeout of the day is called, and almost halfway through this first quarter, 9-4 in favor of MR Sports, the team donning blue. And both teams 0-1 here in the second day of action. Scouting4u, the team in white again, lost to D Las Vegas yesterday by 15 points. Lewis Lofton's club really getting off to the races there. Scouting4u had some moments where they were close, but at the end of the day, could not hang on.
Never really could break through, and what jumped out to me was a 1 for 11 shooting day versus 7 for 15 from 3 for D Las Vegas. And so many times during this tournament, we've seen three-point shooting, free throw shooting really change the course of games, and shooting 9% from beyond the arc really hurts you. And sometimes that's just the luck of the draw with the team you have and the players you have. But they certainly do want to look to do better, and McClurkin has already matched the three-point total for the team yesterday. So.
Yeah, you mentioned a good point there. Jamal McClurkin actually hitting a long 2. That was a
Scratch it.
3, but nonetheless, you mentioned only 1 3 for that team yesterday, and you're not going to win ball games if you can only hit 1 shot from the perimeter. Nice steal by Green, and Green will look for a smaller guy to give it to him. Takes it up himself instead. Obacha hounding him defensively. Flips for Calvatise Calhoun, first time in the game for him. That's actually Aaron Bacote in the game. That was my mistake, mixing up my teams. Matola, hard drive as he worked to the cup. Ball swinging around, that's Bacote now. Bacote out of Old Dominion. The flip is off the mark. So McClurkin running point. Back to Shane Carter. Shane Carter. And they're calling a side out here.
Run the shot clock to 19. No stops.
Resetting the shot clock here. And they're running that back to 19 seconds. Shane Carter, who just had the ball there from Peekskill, New York, scoring the first points of the day for Scouting4u. He recently played semi-pro with the Bronx Holy Flames. Before that, Sullivan Community College up in the Hudson River Valley area. So Frank Snow, first time on the team here, 6'11", gave the ball up. Matthew Thomas taking hard and getting fouled. So 2 shots coming for him. Alex Matola, the man, in charge of the fouls.
Matthew Thomas, 9 free throws yesterday, and someone who did a little bit of everything. 13 points, 5 and 6 rebounds and assists. So a guy who has the ball in his hands quite a bit for this S4U squad.
MR Sports suffered a tough loss to the Southern Star by 3 points. A few garbage time buckets made that score a little closer than it should have been, but nonetheless, it was a single-digit game. Really tooth and nail to the end there, Andy. I know we were both watching that one closely. The second one also goes down to Mr. Thomas, the man with the gold on his hair. You can't miss it. So Matola with the left hand taking it up court. Now it's Presley. Presley using the Robson screen, trying a little 2-man game, gets poked out by McClurkin. McClurkin loose ball, tries to control it, finally does get it. Michael Obacha hustling hard to get it. Obacha talked to me yesterday about his hustling aspects of his game, as the 3 is bricked by Hassan. Coat in transition, slows it up. Now Green low block, a few back downs. Now a kick behind the back. Bacote fade away. Offside iron. And that ball looks like it bounced off of Alonzo Nelson Ododa. Just checking into the game for the first time, and it did. He played 3 years at Richmond before finishing his final year at the University of Pittsburgh. And for him, 9.7 rebounds yesterday. Very active player. And some shot clock questions here. The refs are very much on top of that. Again, a mix of FIBA and D-League refs here today, and they're being overseen by George Tolliver, the head of D-League officiating. Also, 17-year NBA vet Courtney Kirkland has refed in the league for that many years. He's also on hand to take into session league and work with these guys. 12 seconds left in the shot clock. Again, in that far corner, you really can't make it out, and especially if you're these players. So hard to see, but 9-6 in favor of MR Sports. Here in the early goings of the first quarter, 3:33 left on that first quarter clock. Gil Kingsley calling out a play from the bench. On overhead pass to the right wing. Now it's Thomas. Thomas a few dribbles in. The leaner is no good. Following up is Obacha. Obacha hard in the paint. That's a misfire as well. Bryce Presley in the corner. Ball swinging around the perimeter. Robinson and Matola. Matola getting bumped as he drove by Thomas. Some more subs coming in now for Scouting for You. Going to be Denzel Hussein, first time in the game, played for Heartland Proud, the Florida Semi-Pro League, the Florida Basketball Association. Also, Kawatizi Calhoun back on the floor with Thomas and Obacha getting a breather. So Matola side out. Entry to Green. Green a few jab steps. Trying to bounce inside. Goes up with it, and he gets hacked in the air. 2 for him.
And this game, much like many of the games in the first day of this session, very low scoring into the first quarter. A lot of these teams still feeling each other out and figuring out their own teams and what makeups tend to work. And MR Sports adjusting without Tyler Harris, and Scouting for You adding Frank Snow to the equation in terms of getting some more size.
Nino Sanfilippo also losing Devontae Lewis, who played a little bit yesterday. Pretty stroke there. That was actually Alonzo Nelson Ododa. That was not Jordan Green who got fouled. That was my mistake. Similar sized players.
And they both have phenomenal beards.
Yeah, it's the combination of the beards, you know, very similar pigments. They're very similar looking players. The hair is very similar. But one more coming Odota's way. He's booked in both. So Jamal McClure can again in the front court. Around the perimeter. You mentioned Frank Snow first game of the team. That's one of the interesting niches of this tournament. Guys switching teams throughout. Big number of teams. Frank Snow 6'11". Tallest player in this tournament. Frank Snow on the post. Taking it up, and good interior defense by Ododa to alter that shot.
Snow got the better of him on the entry pass and had an inside track, but great recovery as well as help side defense coming from S4U.
That's off. Khan comes up with the board. Hesitation move, pull up pop, rims out. Kawatizi Calhoun orchestrating the offense as he gives to Jordan Green. Jordan Green lowers the shoulder, flips it up under the scoop, and he gets fouled.
That's one thing MR has done a nice job of now, getting to the free throw line. These will be attempts 4 and 5 compared to 3 for Scouting for You.
And the referee signals immediate timeout. So 2:05 left in this first quarter, 11-6 in favor of MR Sports here in the early goings. And Andy, again, it seems like this is a general theme with the first quarters here. A lot of feeling out the opponents. And again, we're only one day and change into this tournament. So it seems like a lot of that in the early goings is guys getting acquainted to each other, getting acquainted to who they're facing, and it's an early game. Let's face it, it's 10 o'clock here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Doolittle Community Center, so it's a little early for some of these guys, and especially with the time change and everything. Again, there's no excuses in basketball. Guys have to show up for these scouts, but you can see them shaking the rust off early in the early goings, but you'll like to see a better game as the game progresses.
And I know it's great to score and have your numbers, but coaches can always go back and look at your statistics over a larger body of work. What they're looking for is a willingness to work with their teammates, stay positive, do the little things, set good screens, communicate, defend well. And at the end of the day, that's what you can do, is play as hard as you can to get noticed and hopefully get a job.
So Jordan Green has already surpassed his point total from yesterday. He had 2 yesterday. He's got 3 on the day. Still going to be at 3 on that air ball foul attempt. Green, 6'7", 200. New Rochelle, New York product. Dad, Sean Green, of course, as I mentioned. Second one off back iron, no good.
And he's going to have a bigger role today, Green, with Harris not on the floor.
One thing head coach of MR Sports, Nino Sanfilippo, mentioned to me is without Tyler Harris, they're going to have to play small today. So Green going to have to play at 5 a lot throughout this game. Jab step is no good on the shot by Denzel Hussein. And look at that swap by Odota, making the play defensively. Bennerman calling out set piece, has to get over half court. And that's in 8 seconds. Cameron Bennerman was so focused on calling the play, lost track of the 8 seconds, had to get it over half court. And credit McClurkin for getting all in his face to force that.
And I've liked what I've seen from Jamal McClurkin in this tournament, especially defensively. He's had some nice plays weak side and getting a couple blocks. And as a perimeter defender, he plays hard and likes to move his feet. So a lot of these guys show what you can do. And if your defense first, bring it.
McClurkin on the curl. 2-man game with Snow. Snow lofts it up with the left, no good. Snow gets the rebound on the third effort and hooks that home. Frank Snow, welcome to the team, his first points of the day.
Really good feet there. Setting that left foot, pivoting around, and putting it in.
Frank Snow some time in Germany as Matola crosses up, floats it off the window, and good. Alex Matola showing his ability to penetrate and score.
And he's the smallest guy on the floor, so he's got to learn how to adjust and use the angles and loft that one up and in.
Matola listed at 6'1", but on his college team at GW last year, that 3 is good by Calhoun. On his college team last year at GW, he was listed at 5'11", so unless he's grown 2 inches in the past few months, the height might be a little generous. He's certainly a smaller player, but we've seen some good things from him. In motion, Aaron Bucket, he's on the board with 2.
And there is a difference between actual height and listed height, as I found out yesterday, in correction to our rosters here as well.
Snow again, inside move is off. 15-10 MR Sports, the team in blue. 20 seconds left in this first quarter. And Matola's going to hold for the last shot. There's maybe half a second shot clock, game clock differential. Very even, but you don't have the milliseconds here, so it's tough to tell, but it looks slightly off. So Matola on a drive and spin, still working. Fadeaway shot off the sideline of the backboard. And as I mentioned, 1 second left on this giant scoreboard in the back, and I guess refs are going to call it. We'll see if they have him play this, I guess, half a second, or if we'll just call the quarter. And they call quarter, so that's the move the officials decide to go with. And after the first 15-10 MR Sports over Scouting for you.
Yep. Another slower start. You saw some three-point shooting early from MR Sports. Presley and Green each knocking one down, but it's a balanced attack. I'm not sure there's any one guy who is a feature scorer or who's going to go on professionally to have someone where his role is to exclusively score. There's a lot of guys who do a lot of different things for this team, and it's going to have to be a team effort for MR Sports. And on the other side, you really have to like the size that Snow and the other bigs bring to S4U, but I'm looking for a little bit more out of their guard play, especially.
Yeah, and Andy, you alluded to really most of my thoughts here, in the sense that nobody, of course, took over this game. The high point man is Bryce Presley. He's got 4 points for MR Sports, so nobody really taken over as a shot maker. And again, we talked about the rust, you know, guys getting the kinks out early on in the game. But all of that aside, you know, you do want to see somebody take over, and Tyler Harris would have been that guy you assume had he been out on the floor today. Scouting4u didn't have anyone like that yesterday, which is part of the reason they lost. Michael Obacha scored 19 in that loss. He's yet to crack the scorebook, but give it time. So the clock is set to 10 minutes. The second quarter is set to begin, and Matthew Thomas will give to Shane Carter, who will start things up as Thomas gets it back. Off the play. Gives up to Tina Diane. Diane from Chad gives it around to Thomas. Thomas, back to Calhoun. 3-ball is off.
No player in this game has made more than one field goal from the floor. So really it's been a struggle to score 25 combined points through 10-plus minutes of play.
It doesn't really seem like there's one player on the floor right now that can truly create their own shot. So that's an interesting dynamic of this game that we'll have to pay attention to. Who's going to step up in that regard? So a few dribbles in for Green, and a fadeaway is off the mark. So pushing up floor now is Calhoun. Calhoun enters past Snow. Snow backing down. Goes the other way and is off the mark. Betterman pushing. Betterman crossover, drive, peels out. That one squirts off the rim. And it's going to be Scouting for you ball.
And I don't fault a lot of these shots. Most of them are in the paint. The last 3 we've seen have been in the paint for either team, and they just haven't fallen. It's been good transition defense, and the intensity certainly is up on that end of the floor.
Shane Carter now trying to work a 2-man game here.
Miss by 5.
No good inside, gets his own rebound, still cannot finish, but that is trapped in by Mr. Frank Snow. 4 points for him, as he's a nice addition to this team with his length and ability to crash the glass. Gil Kisley and Scott shouting defense on the bench. They cracked the scoreboard first, 15 to 12. They're down. Snow tracks down the board, and it's Thomas up court. Thomas hits a nice pass inside, easy finish. Sabor Pino Guillaume getting on the board for the first time. Maryland Eastern Shore for 2 years, 1 year at Binghamton University, played junior college at Blinn College, and Andy, could ask you to name the NFL player that played at Blinn College.
Where?
It's Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton, after he got kicked out of Florida, played a year at Blinn College, and the rest is history. He went to Auburn. Snow, wild outlet, and that gets intercepted by Presley. Presley, that outlet is good. Up the floor, and the finish. Hassan Khan. No, my mistake, Cameron Bennerman. I botched the dunk.
Hey, if you could throw it down there, throw it down. People are watching. That's what this is all about, and I wasn't sure he could get up like that.
It's true. Cameron Bennerman, all 32 years old. He's still able to elevate a little bit. So inside is Carter, hard to the rack and the foul. So Shane Carter was listed on the roster for Session A, did not actually suit up. Plays in Session B, 13 points, 4 rebounds yesterday for him. And for a guy like him, you got to have a chip on your shoulder, really, not having played big-time college ball, because you have a lot of guys here having played, whether it's Division I or dominating at some of the lower levels, NAIA, Division II.
Lots of JUCO guys for a couple of years before moving on.
Yeah, he played 2 years at Solvay Community College, the Brixton First. And then he's just playing semi-pro ball right now in the Bronx. So you want to see some things out of Shane Carter, but he showed some different aspects of his game to the scouts on hand. Second one also pops out. And ref's going to rule that one in favor of MR Sports. So MR Sports up 17-15, 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Again, they were up 15 to 10 to start things here. So for those keeping track at home, that's 5-2 in favor of Scouting for you to start the second quarter.
And as for you, it's been the bigs underneath for a couple of their buckets. The interior defense needs to improve for MR Sports.
Hope bounces to Presley. Presley trying to use a screen. Now back out to the coach, ball around the perimeter. Green thinks about a 3. Now put it on the floor baseline. Back out to the coach. The coach, a few dribbles in. Pull up is good. Aaron Bacote at the buzzer drains the mid-range pop. McClurkin calls out a play on the other end. Or Pina Guillaume gives to Thomas. Now inside Snow. Snow, a few backs down. Hook, got it. He's got 6. So Frank Snow again, a welcome addition to the Scouting for You team. And Another shot clock situation here, resetting to 19. Guess that shot clock really never got started, so we're seeing some issues on that front. I'm sure that'll get corrected soon. So 6:46 remaining in this first half, 19-17, MR Sports. It's been a close game throughout, but MR Sports has maintained that lead. So the coat overhead pass, Presley in rhythm, that's off. Thomas will want to push it. Thomas in the front court, look at that step, no finish. Frank Snow followed it up, and it gets knocked off MR Sports, so it's going to be ball underneath, Scouting for you.
It was a good look. I was surprised he went with his left hand on the right side following the Euro step, but it was a nice move to free himself up to go for the layup.
Yeah, and you like Frank Snow's activeness on the board because he's the tallest player on the court, and when you have that size, should I say, scouts are expecting you to crash the glass and to really be active offensively, and Frank Snow has been every bit of that. So it's Thomas here, off of the screen. A bounce for Diamond, and he missed it.
Rebound.
So Bennerman up the floor. Cameron Bennerman, we saw him dunk a few minutes ago. This time he gives for Green. Green from the wing is no good. So again, Presley. Presley takes a few steps in. Back out to Bennerman. Corner pop is off. And fighting for that rebound is Snow. Easy body to shield it off. But it's taken by Bennerman. Bennerman to Presley. Presley the tough finish inside and the foul. Bryce Presley, he's got 6 and counting.
No, it pays to be aware and have your head on a swivel there because Presley, on his way back to just sprint back and play transition defense, able to see that his team was able to get the ball back and fill that lane right down the middle and show an ability to finish in transition, not just get fouled, but put it in at the basket.
Presley one more. That one rims around and in. He's got 7. So Presley, the leading scorer in this game with 7. Frank Snow, Scouting for you with 6. And another shot clock issue here. That's really been the story of the second quarter. So 22-17 in favor of MR Sports. Stein Kahn, the trigger man on the side out. Matthew Thomas going out of play. Thomas did not shoot the ball well in game 1. 3 of 13. Let's see what he can do here. Gives it to Yarme. Yarme bricks the mid-range shot. So the coat gives to Robinson now. Back to Presley. Presley on the tough drive, can't finish off the window. And McClurkin might have tipped that one in his own basket. Bennerman will probably get credit for it. We'll give that to him. But it looks like the coat got, it looks like McClurkin got a hand on that.
Bennerman's been so active on both ends of the floor, he certainly looks like a pro today.
Strip by Presley. Presley has numbers to the coat. The coat, middle of the lane, and the finish with the left. Aaron the coach got 6 out of Old Dominion, 4 years there. He's showing what he can do. He struggled yesterday too, 4 points, 1 of 6 in the field. And Thomas showing some inside dribbles. Kahn from downtown, off front rim.
Kahn's an interesting story here at this camp. He's not a guy who has a big college pedigree. I mean, he went to USC but didn't play there. He was a club basketball star, club basketball All-American, and that actually, believe it or not, is a pretty big movement, and there are a couple of organizations out there that claim to have club basketball national championships, and he's a guy who has been training for these sort of events. His aspiration is to be an international professional basketball player, but it's a very non-traditional path for him to take, and an event like this is certainly one of the chances he has to show what he can do against real competition that scouts can respect.
Look, you're not going to see any 5-star recruits playing club basketball. With that said, hey, crazier things have happened. Guys have made their way into professional sports in all sorts of ways. And it's nice to see Hassan Khan here getting his opportunity. 6'1", 180, as you mentioned, his career before there. And he had 2.3 boards, 3 assists yesterday as we check back in off of the timeout. Thomas has it underneath as Alex Nicola checks back in the game to guard him. Gives to McClurkin. McClurkin back out to Thomas. Thomas, a few dribbles inside, and he's got it. Sweet stroke from him. He's got 4.
And that's something we need to see from Thomas. We know he can handle the ball, get into the paint, but show off the shot a little bit, and mid-range 3, that'd be nice to see.
Benderman double, but he works out of the double. Good dribbling from him. Tola has it in the corner. Now the entry for Robinson. Robinson, look at the pass from the big man and the easy finish from Benderman off of that kiss.
And Robinson, a quiet day so far, hasn't scored yet, but a good look out of the post where he is a threat, able to score and pass from there.
Thomas getting around the defense. Ball rims out. And it's Benderman looking to push. Benderman gets around a few defenders. That's Presley. Had an open corner 3. Instead gives to Robinson. Robinson, the push shot is good. Jamari Robinson on the board for the first time today.
He showed good touch yesterday. NC State to Barry University, and did a lot of different things, scoring, rebounding, and shot blocking as a member of Barry University.
Jamari Robinson, a few years at NC. Perkins thinks about it. Instead, with bounce. The ball was Roger setting stage. Shot clock winding down. McClurkin's got a fire from 3. No good. 30-19. MR Sports has really jumped out in front here in these past few minutes. So Presley sealing off the defender. Working on the low block. See that back rainbow delivery is no good. And it's going to stay with blue here with 3:15 left in the second quarter.
And I think the big difference has been Cameron Benderman here in the second quarter. 6 of his 8 points coming here, and all of them have been up and around the rim, being active, cutting to the basket, scoring in transition. And it goes to show you don't have to be showing off and gunning. Just take the points where you can, and the easy baskets as they come.
So Presley able to fight off the hand there. He gets the inbound pass. Back out to Green. Green working his way in the interior. Ball goes to and Bergen, as he worked his way up court, was fouled by Jordan Green. Again, you cannot foul out in this tournament, so that's worth noting. But again, scouts will look at the score sheet to see how many fouls a guy picks up, because that is worth noting. Roger comes in. 3 minutes left in the second quarter, and 30-19 is the score. Sports leading. McClurkin, main time no good. Second effort is good. So Jamal McClurkin showing the athletic ability to stay in midair.
No, he's a dude with a high motor who does it on both ends of the floor and in transition. It's nice for him to get something out of a set piece or in the half court there.
So Presley inside to Robinson. Robinson is no good. Coach McClurkin.
Miss.
In transition, Betterman here for Matola. Matola is able to finally come up with that ball. Almost lost it. Robinson, we talked about his stroke. That one's going to misfire. It's no rebound. Matola on the third pass. Ooh, that 3 was ugly. 2 minutes left in this first half. 30-21 in favor of MR Sports. Crossover there. Out for McClurkin. Hesitation move. Hits Matola in the body, and that forces the steal. Matola has some room, but it's off his knee. That's turnover for MR Sports. So the big man Frank Snow's going to check back in the game after this timeout for Nino Sanfilippo and MR Sports. So MR Sports with a 9-point lead here with just under 2 minutes left in this first half. And they've really been able to push out that lead a little bit. Again, it was a very close game. They've had the lead for most of the game. But MR Sports just somehow able to keep track on that lead, not letting it slip at all.
Really impressed with what they've been able to do in the paint, in transition, turning defense into offense. I'll be very interested to see the points off turnovers number when we get the halftime statistics. And it hasn't been three-point shooting. It hasn't been jump shooting. It's been take it to the basket, use the numbers advantage when you have them. And Cameron Benderman playing a very mature game, playing a game where he's picking his spots very nicely and executing the plays that he certainly can execute. And that's the sign of a pro, and he's a guy who's been here before and 10-plus years in the game, and you can see why.
Yeah, mature is a good way to describe the 32-year-old Benderman. Again, with his 4 years 4-year career at NC State from 2002 to 2006. So he's still looking to be here and, you know, work his way to a next international contract. So it's going to be Obacha on the inbounds. So bringing the ball up the court now is Kawatizi Calhoun. Calhoun guarded by Presley for Snow. Snow bounces to McClurkin. He curls, fades away, and it's good. Jamal McClurkin. He's got 6.
It was a tough contest, and he had to fade away a little bit, but he did a lot of his work before he got the ball and caught it close enough to the rim where he could still make the shot fading away.
Now it's Bennerin, the man we just talked about. He draws in 2 defenders and kicks out to Green. Green, long 2. It's good. Jordan Green showing the range. He's got 5. Here's Obacha. He had 19 yesterday. He has not scored yet. Snow, we see if the big man can shoot. Can't do it right there. Under a minute left, 33-23 in favor of MR Sports as we look to close this first half. Total tries to go around the screen. Now it's Green again. Can he shoot from long range? Yes, he can. Jordan Green. Give me 3 of these. So 43 seconds left in this first half. Largest lead of the day for MR Sports, 36-23. 13-point margin for them. Now it's McClurkin's dribbling the ball up. On the perimeter. Calhoun bounces for Obacha. Obacha looking to crack the scorebook. He does it right there. Michael Obacha showing the touch from 14 feet out.
And good patience from him. The defense really didn't focus on him, rather his passing options. And when you catch the basketball, it goes score, pass, shoot, or shoot, pass, and then dribble, and able to get an open shot and knock it down.
So Jordan Green handling outside. Bryce Presley back in the game using the left. Ball is out of bounds. It's going to stay with MR Sports. 9 seconds left on this first half clock. 4 seconds left from the shot clock. Go again. It's so hard to make out in that far corner. I can't state it enough. I mean, we're courtside. We can't see it. It's tough for these players, you know, in the moment. They're used to looking up top. Robinson push shot is off the mark. 7 seconds left. They're counting it down from the side bench. We'll let him do so. At the buzzer, Calhoun airball. And that's how this first half will end, 36-25 in favor of MR Sports. As again, it's Session B, game 1 of day number 2 between the losers of yesterday's first 2 games, MR Sports in blue, Scouting for You in white. MR Sports up 36-25, and I guess we have 5 minutes of intermission here in halftime. Andy and I are going to take a quick break, but on the other side, we will have your second half actions. Things are picking up right here. We'll be right back.
Scouting for You just doesn't have any shooters.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
I mean, that's what's tough with this team.
And then Green just got hot from 3. His second to last shot, that was a 3.
That was? I thought, no. They had 31 points, no? Morning. Wait, they had...
Well, we'll check the efficiency stats too. Because I saw the...
Wait, that wasn't... Oh, yeah, you're right. He's got 9, that's my mistake. So we'll check that scoreboard, yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. Here.
Is it this one? Yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Is it moving at all? Hello, 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 hello. Is it this one? Move that over, move that over. Try to adjust it. Hello, hello. I did. Hear me in this one? Do again, go again.
Hello, hello.
You hear that one? Alright.
You want to start the magic man?
Who's using this one?
Try this, yeah, Andy.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's much better to follow.
Alright.
I'm gonna switch mics.
No, no, I don't think this one's all the way in.
What?
I don't think it's all the way in.
Hey, Raymond, do you have stats? Thank you.
Can you adjust the thing real quick? And we are back. How quiet? Alright, fuck that. Alright, man, we're gonna have to share this mic. This mic's just not functioning properly.
Come on.
Sorry about that. Yo, are we ready to go? Welcome back to the second half of action here, the first game of day number 2 of Session B at the Global Basketball Summer League. Sam Krugerman, Andy Stanko bringing you the call as Scouting4u, the team that's down 36-25, bringing it over half court. Obacha, he swings for Thomas, and now Thomas is going to be D'd up by Matola. Around the Obacha screen, now back to Obacha himself. Shot clock winding down, 5 seconds, threading the needle but getting picked off is Thomas. Shot clock winding down, fadeaway is off the mark, and it's Bennerman ripping down the rebound. Bennerman the other way, all 32 years old, former NC State product, gives to Javari Robinson, who misfires on the mid-range shot. Bennerman to Matola. Matola has some room. And errant pass, I don't know if it was a pass or a floater attempt or what it was, but loose ball is picked up by Javari Robinson. Jordan Green inside. He loses the ball and it's out of play.
Looking at first half numbers, what really stands out, the 4 for 9 3-point shooting for MR Sports, 0 for 5 Scouting4u, and the 3 ball has been such a big factor in so many of these games. And Scouting4u just doesn't really have a shooter it can rely on.
And again, we talked about this during halftime, Andy. This not having shooters in a tournament like this is so detrimental to your team. As the mid-range pop is on the money for Michael Obacha, he gets things cracking for Scouting4u in the second half. Obacha had 19 points yesterday, the product from Nigeria, played 4 years at Appalachian State. Great story with him. He actually had the Michael Obacha shoe drive, donating athletic footwear to people in need and homeless people in Nigeria, as the hook shot is too strong there from Robinson. McClurkin's going to peel back out. McClurkin. Obacha the jab step in the delivery. He's cooking early. He's got 6.
Now, you don't need 3-point shooting to necessarily have to win the game. As long as you continue to do what you do offensively and take those good shots and defend at a high level, a double-digit lead just doesn't disappear without good defense.
3 ball pops out there from Bennerman. So darting up coast to coast, and the finish. There it is for Shane Carter, the semi-pro baller from Peekskill, New York, he's got 4. So it's the ones on each other with Matola being D'd up by Thomas. Matola gets around a few defenders. He's got room inside, and he gets fouled. Strong tape by Alex Matola. He'll have 2 foul shots to show for it.
Coach Gill not happy with Thomas, and Thomas got a little bit lazy after he got caught up on that first screen. You need to recover as fast as you can, and he just sort of expected it to be a switch and lollygagged after it. Recover hard and help your guys out because they're helping you out.
So 2 shots for Matola. Nice delivery. First one rattles in for him. 3 years at Dartmouth for Alex Matola out of Florham Park, New Jersey. Transferred for his final year of eligibility to George Washington. Averaged 5.3 points a game there, and he's trying to stick with the international team, maybe even try for the D-League. I don't see that, at least right off the bat. He's probably trying to play overseas. Second one is good for him too, and one of the things these coaches stress is you got to play defense. If you're not playing defense, scouts are going to notice that, and I think that's one of the things these coaches stress to their players the most. Look at that hang time and elevation. Shane Carter, he's got 6, 2 points early here, and with that 38-33, MR Sports' lead has shrunk to 5. Bennerman able to take past the pressure over half court. Bryce Presley inside, Jordan Green. That's actually Odota, my mistake. Alonzo Nelson Odota, the jab step, now ball swinging around outside. Presley, spin move, and the lofting finish. Bryce Presley on the interior.
Nice job to get into the paint and then go up high off of his right foot and shoot it while he's falling and going back down. That's a tough shot to defend because it's not one you see very often.
And spinning inside, nobody can finish on a few efforts, but it will be tracked down by Obacha. So clean 24 here. As with 6:30 left in this third quarter, 40-33, MR Sports still out in front, but that lead has shrunk, as I mentioned. Hook shot is well off the mark there.
And there's one problem when you don't have great shooting. Not very good spacing is you had a cutter and a big go to the same spot and clog up the lane for the ball handler.
Spacing is so key in basketball, and look at that cut and a finish. Alonzo Nelson Odota knew where to be on the floor. Easy bucket for him. So 42-33, MR Sports, the team in blue, still maintaining a steady lead here. Thomas around the screen, foul line jumper. He hits it.
And that's the shot he's made twice now. As long as he has a serviceable enough shot where defenses have to respect him around the foul line area, he's got good enough speed and handles to get into the paint and be a lead guard for a team.
So Matola there on the corner. He'll give back out. Cameron Bennerman. Bennerman using the left, the hop step, and the foul. There's Cameron Bennerman with a tough take. Again, Cameron Bennerman, Andy, we just talked about him. A real nice resume he's got in 10 years overseas after playing for NC State. Most recently with Halifax of the NBL Canada. Of course, the NBL Canada, the league that has partnered with global basketball for the past few years. So you have a lot of products out here who have experience in that league. And we have subs coming in. Frank Snow for the first time in the second half coming in for Scouting4u, as is Hassan Khan. In the first half, we talked about Hassan Khan's road from playing club basketball, now making it out here as he tries out and tries to show off his skills to these scouts. Frank Snow, with so much length, as the second one is drained by Bennerman. He's got 9. So McClurkin to Khan. Khan to Obacha. Obacha hands off for Carter. Shane Carter with the left hand, out for Snow. Snow back to Khan. Khan's going to pop a 3 and drains it. Beautiful stroke. Hassan Khan has finally gotten his name on the scoreboard. Matola for Green. Now Green back to Bennerman. Bennerman lobs. And Odota stepped on that end line. Turnover, MR Sports.
More often than not in this event, it's probably not the best idea to throw a lob, especially in close games, especially when it's not uncontested or in transition, because you don't have a big-time repertoire with a lot of these guys. Normally, you're familiar with the player, you've practiced with the player, you know their tendencies, you make eye contact, and you can throw that lob. But in these sort of games with the unfamiliarity, I would stick to a nice solid pass, getting it, finishing with a layup rather than a turnover or a situation where both of your players look bad.
It's definitely an excellent point there, Andy. And again, Scouting for You and Gil Kislyak's squad cutting into this deficit. Now they're only down by 5 points halfway through this third quarter. The big storyline coming into this one is Tyler Harris, who had 23 points, 15 rebounds yesterday for MR Sports in the tough loss. He is not on the floor today. Devontae Lewis is also not on the floor, but Tyler Harris was the focal point of that offense yesterday. His long-range shot was not going in over 6 from downtown, but he does so many things on the floor. And head coach Nino Sanfilippo with the Italian B division, he said that his team's going to have to play small today without Harris because he's really a long 3 player there, and that's something that really alters what you do on your offensive attack. So we regain play here as Jamal McClurkin will run point. Frank Snow up top. Swings, Carter. Wing 3 is off the mark. Matola will come up with the board. Bacote into the game for the first time this second half. He drives and is hit on the arm as he worked his way to the basket. So 2 shots coming Aaron Bacote's way. Aaron Bacote with 6 points to his name today. Had 4 points in game number 1, that loss to the Southern Stars. Make it 7 for him as he hits the first of 2. Again, we talked about really the lack of a shooter for Scouting for You, and that really, again, Andy, can explain that deficit. That second one rattles home again for Bacote. 45-38 now. MR Sports still in front. McClurkin using the Snow screen. Stops his dribble outside. Obacha entry pass to Snow. Snow, baby hook. Misfires there. Loose ball is picked up by Shane Carter. McClurkin. Khan, another 3. He can't hit off the backboard. Bennerman will bring things over half court. Look at that crossover. Gets to the hole. Swings back outside. Bennerman? Bacote, should I say. But yes, sir, from the arc. He's got 11.
Great job creating an awesome crossover by Bennerman to get to the basket. And once he was underneath, able to leave his feet and find the open man in a shooting pocket. That's a pro at work.
Now a double-digit lead for MR Sports, 48-38. They have your lead. Obacha kicks it out from the low block. Khan a few dribbles in, and a floater is well off the mark as the shot clock expires. So turnover for Scouting for You, and again, this is not Scouting for You's day. They have not played great basketball, and a lot of that, it's tough to space the floor when you don't have guys who can keep you honest from outside. So Bacote's going to direct traffic here for MR Sports. Guarded pass half court by Khan. Can't utilize the Odota screen. And stepping on that sideline is Bacote. Now back in the game, Kawatizi Calhoun, first time in the second half. Played at Selma University, a school of 600 people in Selma, Alabama. So going from small school, the bright lights of Vegas is Kawatizi Calhoun. McClurkin to Khan. Khan with the left and steps out. Look at that give and go. Did not work there as Obacha turns it over. Bacote thinks about a 3. Will work inside instead. It's going to stay with MR Sports.
Great job on the block of moving the feet out of the defender. And a lot of times it's about positioning, and you might not necessarily block a lot of shots one-on-one, but coming help side especially or moving your feet will get you into position to reject that, and exactly the case right there.
So timeout here, and high fives from Nino Sanfilippo's side as, again, a double-digit lead with 2:55 left in this third quarter. And one thing, Andy, I know we were talking to him about 10-15 minutes before this game, and he was saying that he knew, first of all, he knew some of these guys on his team already just from the scouting he's done, but he said 3 or 4 of these guys could be ready to play in Italian level B, and with a few years of training, they could work their way up to the highest level and be effective players. And that comes down to player development, because in Europe, really all overseas, it's such a different game. Because in the NBA, the biggest thing that steps out is how fast the game is. They play at such a high pace. And it's not to say that they play slow in Europe, but it's just a different pace of the game. But on the flip side, more of a tactical game in European basketball. So Matola underneath the inbound, gives to Green. Jordan Green has 9 points in the first half, has not cracked the scorebook yet. Bacote, no good. Green gets the rebound. Green gets swatted out of bounds by Frank Snow.
Snow definitely a big-time defensive presence, not only on the boards but as a shot blocker, and that time was the primary defender, moved his feet and got over and sent that back.
So Alex Matola is going to wait for the refs to sort out the shot clock as it moves down to 23 seconds. Jordan Green, can he hit from outside? He cannot. McCorkin's going to look to push up floor. Stops his dribble. It's going to leak out. Now he'll go inside. And that pass goes astray. So a turnover from Jamal McClurkin, a little out of control there. Kind of made his move before he could see what his next step was and hesitated there. Alex Matola using the body nicely as he drew the foul on his way towards the three-point arc. 2:25 left in this third quarter, 48-38. MR Sports out in front. Bacote using the screen. Interior pass. Odota bounces for Green. Green's going to make the extra feed. Matola can't make it work from outside. Scouting4u had numbers, then slowed it up. Shot is good. Sabor Pina Guillarme. Tribute to the recently retired Tim Duncan there with the beautiful bank shot.
And that was all set up by a gamble for a steal on the other end. And then extra pass, extra pass, extra pass, open look for 2.
So we'll see if Odota can respond on the opposite end. He cannot as Snow skies for the board. A minute and a half left in this third quarter, 48-40 for MR Sports. A low-scoring affair here today in the first game at the Doolittle Community Center. 3 pops out from Kahn. Positive energy coming from that Scouting4u bench. Still down by 8 points. As Bacote's going to set the tone here. Defensive 3 seconds is the call, says the referee, as Scouting4u stayed in the paint a little too long. Sub coming in, that's Matthew Thomas, will be back on the floor. He's got 6 points, 5'11", 185. Player from Salem International University in West Virginia. Also spent time at Union College in Kentucky and Bronx Community College. So it's 49-40 now after the foul shot on the defensive 3 seconds. Matola inbounds for MR Sports, who still maintains possession. Jabari Roberts going to check in at the next whistle for MR Sports. Lengthy big who could shoot the ball a little bit. Bacote couldn't shoot the ball there. Ugly release. Minute left in this third quarter. Thomas around the screen. Ball is kicked by Jordan Green, blocking the entry pass. So Shane Carter will be the other sub as he comes back on the floor. Also calling Denzel Hussein's number. Limited action here in that first half. Played semi-pro ball with the Florida Basketball Association, the Heartland Prowl. So Shane Carter on the exterior. Few dribbles in. Off the mark. So here's Bacote. Betterman inside. And he gets hacked.
In that situation, Hussein got beat on the dribble and was able to give the foul before, according to the officials, the shot was going up. So in a situation where you're not in the bonus yet, you can't foul out, that's probably a really smart foul to give.
So here's Bacote off the side out. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Robinson backing down the low block. Spin move, hook shot. No good. So Thomas is going to push up floor and run point here as he calls out a set piece. 20 seconds left in this third quarter, 49-40 in favor of the team in blue. That's MR Sports. Hussein back to Thomas. Hussein will give him a screen. Thomas tries to split the D, and foul on the floor there as Bacote bumped into him with the body. 5-second shot clock, game clock differential. Actually, now it's 1 second as that shot clock is reset. So 15 seconds left on the game clock, 14 on the shot clock. Matthew Thomas bounces for Pina Guillaume. Inside pass, Snow. Oh, he's swatted. Look at that. Do not go in there. Alonzo Nelson Odota with the emphatic rejection. And Gil Kislyak wants a timeout with 3 seconds left in this third quarter. Coaches have 2 per half, and Coach Kislyak wants to use it, but talk about Nelson Odota with the swat right there.
Nelson Odota also had a big block in the first half, and he's a guy who certainly can get up, and it's the recovery speed that's really impressive to me. He's got great length, and he was beat in terms of to the spot. A nice bounce pass on the screen and roll to free up Frank Snow, but man, to close, and sometimes it is better to just tip it to yourself or try to hit it to a teammate rather than just putting it out of bounds. I know that gets on the highlight reel and gets people excited, but to trigger a fast break could be even more valuable for a team.
And Frank Snow had some position inside, so really important block from Nelson Odota. So 3 seconds left in the game clock, 2 on the shot clock. So going to have to be a quick attempt here for Scouting for You, as that's another important aspect of that block. You know, Scouting for You doesn't have a chance to set much into the offense. Quick, real catch, settle and shoot. We'll see if Hussein can do that. Can't hit, and that's how this third quarter will end. 49-40 in favor of MR Sports. Both teams 0-1 heading into that fourth quarter, and they don't have a shot at the championship, but we'll see what these teams can do as they get set for one more quarter of action. Just to get your reset, high point man today, that's Aaron Bacote with 11 points on the day for MR Sports. Nice bounce back from that 4-point performance the other day in Game 1. Bennerman's got 9 also for MR Sports. Presley with 9. Jordan Green with 9, so balanced scoring effort. And on the flip side, Scouting for You, nobody with more than 6 points by my count, so they've struggled.
And really, in terms of a big-time offensive player, you see a couple guys scoring in double figures the last time around. Matthew Thomas, Jamal McClurkin, Michael Obacha, Sabor Pina, all of them not on track to get to that mark unless they have big-time fourth quarters. And someone has to step up. Someone has to take charge and take the shots and make the shots here for S4U.
So guys check back on the floor. And Andy, in this fourth quarter, is there something you particularly want to see happen in terms of guys really solidifying themselves to these scouts? Is there one player you really want to see show something you've seen some potential from?
Just who's going to show up, make stops, and get things going in transition for S4U.
And we'll see if they can do that. And they're going to call a foul on the interior. That's Frank Snow picking that up. And actually, it's a defensive 3 seconds, my mistake. Andy, the man on top of things, corrected me. So one shot here from Matola. He hits it. He's got 5. So Matola now will get a side out to show for it. Double-digit lead for MR Sports, 50-40, 9:46 left in this contest. Bacote around the Robinson screen. He looks to post. Bacote has room for mid-range. He cannot hit. Gets his own rebound. Now the ball swinging around the perimeter. Matola trying to find someone with an entry attempt. Bacote again. The dribble, and he is hacked. That's Denzel Hussein catching him with the arm.
Allowing offensive rebounds isn't a great way to get back into games for Scouting for You. defensively, to come back from there, it has to be scores and stops, and the defensive possession isn't completed until you secure a defensive rebound, and allowing a shooter to get a long rebound like that is unacceptable, especially in the fourth quarter of a game like this.
So Bacote connects on the front end. He's got 12, your leading scorer today. Second one cannot fall for him. But that's going to be a ball underneath now. Well, actually, a lane violation here. Okay, so one more shot coming for Bacote's way. See if he can capitalize. One more, so Aaron Bacote taking advantage of the opportunity. He's got 13. Matthew Thomas up the floor for Obacha. Obacha to Carter. Hands off for Thomas. Thomas, a hard screen by Snow is set. Penetrating kicks, Obacha fumbles it. But Scouting4u has possession. 3 seconds left in the shot clock. Gonna have to fire. Hussein, long two, is off the mark. Matola looking for a man. He's got Bacote. Bacote, hesitation move. Javari Robinson picks it up and is fouled on the floor.
Bacote lucked out there because he left his feet with no plan whatsoever, and he just so happened to have Robinson there. And Robinson is a big, has good hands, good touch around the rim, has shown to be a little bit of a shot blocker. He's very versatile for this MR Sports team.
So outside, Bacote, can he hit the three? Yes, he can. Aaron Bacote from downtown. He's got 16 points. Largest lead of the day for MR Sports, 55-40, 15-point lead. They're cooking now, and Bacote's leading the charge. No Tyler Harris, no problem, he's saying, as McClurkin will pull up and misfire. And Obacha getting called for the foul. He disagrees, but he'll politely hand the ball back. Again, roster changes are a part of the Global Basketball Summer League. Combination of guys getting hurt, guys simply having to fill out other teams, but Nino Sanfilippo has adjusted nicely with arguably his most impactful player not being on the floor for game number 2. So it's Matola off the bounce. Dribble drive, bounce to Robinson. He can't finish the bunny. Carter bounces for Snow. And look at Matola, the smaller guy defending. It listed as a 6-inch height differential. Could be more. Well, actually, not 6 inches. He's 6'11". That's 10 inches right there.
Good on Matola for getting his hands on, and getting his hands on the ball when it got down low. But Frank Snow running the floor as the big and getting the ball like he should. You like to see that out of a 5 to get down the floor and get into where he can be effective on the block.
So here's Thomas on the outside, spinning past everybody. Can't buy the bucket, though.
Sometimes things just get too complicated for Matthew Thomas in there. We've seen a couple of nice drives, and then he tries to get fancy, put some spin on it, go through people, but sometimes the easiest play is the best play, and just lay it up off glass.
Frank Snow, short 2, book it. He's got a little stroke there. He's got 8 points. Matola takes it past half court now. 7.5 minutes remaining. 55-42 in favor of the team in blue. That's MR Sports. Matola draws in the defenders, now gives for Green. So Green hit a few threes early in the game, but quiet second half has yet to score. Bryce Presley, long 3, rattles out. McClurkin's going to push. Inside Thomas. Snow, should I say, have messed it up a few times, but ball goes off of Robinson. So it's going to be a pass in from underneath in favor of Scouting4u. Clerkin gives for Thomas. Thomas bounces for Snow. Snow, baby hook, got it. He's got 10. 11-point lead for MR Sports with under 7 minutes to play. Matola works around a few defenders. And taking the charge is Matthew Thomas. Planted the feet, let Matola bump right into him. Defensive awareness on point for him.
And a couple of stops in a row for Scouting4u. They need to keep that up. An 11-point lead doesn't just evaporate without defensive stops, and if they're able to turn that into more offense, more power to you.
So Thomas to Snow. Snow back to Thomas. Around a screen. He's going to take it baseline with the left. Shovel pass to McClurkin. McClurkin in motion. That's well off the mark. Jordan Green, the big. Oh, look at him behind the back, but then loses it. Right back to Odota. So now Bacote will slow things down and set things up. Around the Odota screen. Trap back to Odota. Driving with the right. Can't finish, down low. Here we go as Thomas has it in the front court. He calls out the set piece. Obacha wanted a little pick and roll action. Here's McClurkin, the hard take. It counts, and the foul. Look at that, Jamal McClurkin finishing and absorbing that contact. And now we have a single-digit ball game. MR Sports up by 9 now. And timeout coming as Gil Kislyak has shown in this tournament he has the ability to bring guys back again. In the very first game he coached in Session A, his team was Scouting4u against Point Streak, at that time coached by Lewis Lofton. Lofton's club was up by 16 points, but Kislyak was able to bring his guys back and win that game. So, fiery young coach, and his guys respond well to him, and I think that's one of the main things we've seen throughout this tournament on the coaching aspect, Andy.
I'd absolutely agree. Coach Gill is really a teacher. That's what I got from the very first practice that we watched of his, where there was a lot of conversations about spacing, about getting in the right spot and playing with effort and staying positive. Now, the team that he has, it's a little bit more challenging to find that spacing without a knockdown shooter, but they've still been able to work their way back in, weasel back down to a 9-point game. And you look at the second half scoring, no one has more than 2 field goals. So it really has been a balanced scoring effort, but I would say look to Frank Snow. If he can get into his spot on the right block, he's certainly a very good option to look to score.
So McClurkin's going to look to finish the and one attempt right here and cut this deficit to 8. He cannot buy the foul shot, though. So 5.5 minutes left in the ball game. 55 for MR Sports, 46 Scouting4u. So here's Bacote matched up with McClurkin. Wild pass is picked off by Carter. Carter's got numbers. McClurkin in transition. The finish. Jamal McClurkin has now cracked double digits with 10 points. Defense chance coming, led by Denzel Hussein on that bench. Should be a fun one down the stretch here, as we got 5 minutes left in the contest. Presley stops his dribble far from the hoop. Swings cross court for Matola. The drive and the finish, Alex Matola. Look at that, 7 points floater in the lane. That'll quiet the chance a little bit. McClurkin now opposite end. He scored a few in a row for his team. Obacha, the footwork down low. Look at that, Michael Obacha. He's got 8 points now.
Caught the ball in the restricted area, and he's very good at using his fakes and his strength to put the ball up and finish at the rim.
So Presley on the wing. Splits the double. And Odota walked with it. That's a turnover for Alonzo Nelson Odota. Seen a few good things from him. We've seen some defensive presence, a few emphatic shot blocks on his part, but turns it over right there offensively. So MR Sports, team in blue, up by 7, 4:25 left in the contest, with the veteran Cameron Bennerman checking back onto the floor. Again, he had 15 points in game number 1. He's got 9 here in game 2. So it's Obacha far away from the hoop. So now it's Carter. Carter on the pick from Snow. Snow's going to roll, and Snow gets it stripped by Odota, but Odota throws it right back to Obacha. 3-ball, Thomas! Book it! Matthew Thomas from beyond the arc. They're going to call it a long 2, but that was some long-range shooting stroke from Matthew Thomas. Drive from Betterman. Wild hook shot is off the mark. Pushing is McClurkin. McClurkin looking for a teammate. He'll take it from the foul line. Not enough English on it. But going back up is Shane Carter. In second effort, he'll get fouled. 2 shots for him.
And you can just see the intensity go up for Scouting for You, especially on the defensive end, and then on the offensive glass, a couple of second chance opportunities, and able to get to the free throw line and in transition. And that's in terms of style of play where this team is at its best. We've been saying, oh, these guys can't shoot threes, they can't shoot threes, they can't shoot threes, but you know what they can do is really work the passing lanes and get in on the offensive glass.
Carter goes 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. His Scouting for Your team down by 4 with 3.5 minutes remaining. Bacote D'd right up at half court. Has to stop his dribble outside. Defensive effort from Scouting for You has picked up nicely recently. But there with the answer, Alonzo Nelson Odota showed his ability to flip it over the shoulder and use the window. So one more shot coming Alonzo Nelson Odota's way. Atlanta native rattles home the foul shot. He's got 7. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this contest as the entry pass is poked away from Frank Snow. Out with numbers is Betterman. Look at his ability, trying to go coast to coast. Now he'll give back out. Wing 3. Bacote. And the score is given to the wrong team there. They'll fix that on the scoreboard. It's going to be a 10-point lead now for MR Sports off of the Aaron Bacote tray.
How quickly can things swing in the game of basketball? Cutting it to 4. It was a good run by Scouting for You, and then a big-time answer on the part of MR Sports. Odota, an and 1 underneath, and then Bacote. And Bacote's been exactly what the doctors ordered this game. And he was like this at Old Dominion, where when the team needed him to score, he scored. His scoring average was higher in his sophomore and junior years than it was his senior year because they didn't need him to score. And so he was very mature, filled in the cracks, did what was asked of him at Old Dominion, and now doing very much of the same here for MR Sports. They lost statistically their best player from yesterday, but they played just as well. And they're going to hold Scouting for You to perhaps the low point total mark for this entire tournament so far today, or so far this week.
Aaron Bacote proved to be a 3-point marksman at Old Dominion. His sophomore year was one of the team's leading scorers at 15.5 points a game. Coaching change there. Played some ball with Keenan Palmore, who we'll see in one of the later games today. He played in both sessions. But it's Thomas bringing the ball up to Obacha. Scouting for You is going to have to hurry, and their inability to make threes is really going to haunt them here, as getting points in a hurry will be tough. Look at Thomas penetrating, but a wild pass hits Nino Sanfilippo in the body. He'll take that one, though, as his team forces a turnover. So here's Bacote. Gets around Thomas, and they'll call Thomas with the foul. So some defensive confusion for Scouting for You, and Thomas will get charged with the foul. Again, individual fouls do not necessarily matter in terms of guys fouling out in this tournament. Same with the NBA D-League. We pretty much play D-League rules here. Touch pass from Matola. Betterman, book it. Look at that. That all starts with the touch pass from Alex Matola. Cameron Betterman drains the 3 in response. So an 13-point game with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Scouting for You is really running out of time. McClurkin, the push shot cannot fall. And Obacha saves it, but to the other team. Presley gives to Betterman. Betterman runs the floor, and he walked with it. Gil Kislik wanted to put Hassan Khan back in the game, but ref says no sub on that, so we'll have to wait a minute. Only 2 minutes left. MR Sports up by 13. Looks like Scouting for You's comeback effort will fall up short, but Jamal McClurkin tries to make me eat my words there with the 2 ball. They scored a 3 right there on the scorebook. Looked like it was called a 2. We'll see what they give it to him. Right now it's a 3 and a 10-point deficit. So bricked by Matola. Matola is able to force the loose ball, and they're going to call it a kick. So Hassan Khan triggers in. A minute and a half left. 10-point lead for MR Sports. Scouting for you, still vying for something. That's blocked away. Look at that. Aaron Bacote swatting the much larger Sabor Pinagiyame down on the low block. Outside of Guillaume. Gonna need to hurry here is McClurkin. McClory creates some space. Can't hit. But fouled on the putback is Shane Carter. So he's got 2 shots coming his way.
Shane Carter, a high-energy guy. A very good defensive player at that. Able to get to the free throw line where he is 1 of 4 today. That's one thing he would like to shore up and show scouts that, yes, he can knock them down.
And bricking the first foul shot is Shane Carter. And you need every point you can get at this juncture of the game. Really looks like Scouting for You's chance is going to fall up short. Second one will rattle around and in. So Shane Carter's got 8 points. He's had some moments today, but his team is down by 9. Bennerman in the front court. Lofts it up, and finishing on the lob is Alonzo Nelson Ododa. 9 points to his name. 11-point lead for MR Sports. Khan threads the needle to McClurkin. McClurkin, fade away. Off the mark. A minute left, and the team in blue, MR Sports, is looking like they are on their way to improving to 1-1, with Scouting for You falling to 0-2 here in Session B. And committing the foul is Jamal McClurkin, and it's going to result in a side out here.
And I'll say this, MR Sports was just the better team in this game, and when the lead was cut down to 4, they made play after play after play, and you blinked and the lead was 12 once again. MR Sports, both of these teams lost the first game around. It's awesome to come back in day number 2, get a win, and get into that 5th place game and at 4 o'clock rather than at 10 a.m. the next time as well.
So look at Frank Snow taking it up high and hard, and he gets fouled. So 32 seconds left again. This one's all but wrapped up. But guys still on the floor, of course, 32 seconds left to play. 68-57, MR Sports, as I just mentioned, going to go on to 1-1 as Nino Sanfilippo picks up his first Global Basketball Summer League win. He's an assistant in the top division in Italy for a long time, now finally getting to coach his own team at the second level. With Frank Snow hitting the first, he's got 11 points. You know, with Frank Snow, we've seen some good things here today, Andy. Definitely his ability to alter shots with his size. Definitely a raw talent, though, I would say. I think it's a fair way to characterize him, but he's a nice little stroke, hits both foul shots. So as this game clock winds all the way down, Bacote will run the offense for what could be the final time. And Scouting for You is still playing the foul game as Hassan Khan is the culprit there. I think the ref gave him a delay of game warning there with, I guess, the score looking the way that it does. Fixing the game clock down to 26 seconds left. So that's all we have here. So with 2+ seconds there, MR Sports is going to have to loft up a shot here. And imagine Scouting for You is going to let him play it out here. Frank Snow not giving Matola any room to breathe. And he reaches in for the foul. .15 seconds left in this clock. Matola is going to shoot 2 foul shots here. His team is 68. The other team, Scouting for You, with 59. Matola with 7 points, had 5 in game 1. Again, played his last year at GW after 3 years at Dartmouth. First one swooshed. He's got 8. Your high point man today is going to be Aaron Bacote of MR Sports, balling with 19 points. hitting it from all over the floor, showing his ability to stroke it, his ability to distribute. So 10 seconds left here. Shane Carter taking it in the lane. Pops back out. Khan downtown. Too strong. Snow will get his own rebound there. The floater is good. So it's going to be a single-digit loss. 68-61 is your final score. Should say 69 because Matola did hit one. So 69-61 is the final here as MR Sports comes away with the win over Scouting4u. MR Sports improving to 1-1. Scouting4u 0-2 here in Session B as Day 2 is all kicked off now. Andy, you know, and I guess